Welcome back to the Muskogee County Coaches Show. And on the show, I have the Shaw head football coach, Coach Johnnie Garner. Coach, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing great. Congratulations on the win over Kendrick. I know the score was 60-0. Kendrick had 4 turnovers.
Right.
Kendrick had just as much yards as you did. They had 215 yards. They just ended up having 4 turnovers. Your defense returned 3 fumbles for a touchdown. So a lot of people saw that 60-0 score and thought that Shaw just completely dominated. But what was your takeaways on that win against Kendrick?
We weren't consistent in every aspect at all times. We got to play complementary football. So at times you'll see, flashes of offense, flashes of special teams, and flashes of defense. But we didn't put it all together and play complementary ball. Like I said, the score can kind of be misleading a little bit. And shouts out to Kendrick and the coaches over there as well, man. They do a great job. And like I said, there's a lot of respect to those guys in their program.
All right, you are currently 4-5 on the season. You play Jordan to wrap up the regular season. That's going to be a Thursday night game. Just talk about what could possibly be a playoff scenario if you're able to win that game, because we're looking at the way that the format is for the playoffs is that there are going to be 16 at-large teams, and they're based off your strength of schedule. You already have the head-to-head with Hardaway. And looking at some of your quality wins on the season, what is it looking like for the Shaw Raiders to possibly get into the playoffs?
Right. Right now, the most thing we can do is just take care of Thursday first. You know what I mean? Handle our business, control we can control, and then of course the selection is out of our hands at that point. But at the current time, I think they have us ranked in the top 25 in the state. So with that being said, they're taking the top 32 teams overall. So right now we're kind of in a good spot to get a bid for the playoff. Now it's just about who we'll match up with, and of course where we'll travel for the first round.
Absolutely. And your team starts with your quarterback, Aaron Grant. He has been spectacular all season. What makes Aaron just a special quarterback, that leader on the field, that is that dual threat quarterback that can break open a play for a big yardage, or, he is capable of just throwing the football and just airing it out to your offense? I mean, what are some of the traits that makes Aaron special?
Level-headedness. He's a guy, like I said, his first year playing the position, so everything was new for him. Everything is new for him in regards to leading an offense, and he understands his role as enhanced as a quarterback. You're not just the offense; you're kind of the leader of the team, and so he's embraced that role. He's not shy about who he is. He's a natural leader. Comes from a great family, so he's embracing that challenge, and that's what you want as a quarterback. For your quarterback, a guy that's not shying away from responsibility, not shying away from duties, but he's attacking it head on and learning at a high level, throughout the process. So we're happy with Aaron.
Well, Coach, we've had a lot of Shaw games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live this past season. Just recently, a couple of weeks ago, I was on the call for Shaw Spencer. That was a very competitive game. This was a 10-7 game, and Spencer ended up scoring that touchdown to go up 16-7. I thought your defense played very well, shutting down a high-powered Spencer offense. What are some of the takeaways that you've got from your defense and how solid they've played all season?
Yeah, they're a phenomenal group. Coach Pickett does a great job preparing those guys week to week. So there's a lot of game planning that goes into it. It's not just one of those things they show up and stop people. They work on it all week in regards to film study, in regards to the small things, the verbs that he uses about reading the screws and the 11 hats to the ball. They personify that, and they go out every Friday night or Thursday night, and they give everything that they have. So that's all we can ask from them. And they have been playing well as of late, and we don't look for that to stop anytime soon. So if we're going to make a run that we want to make, those guys are going to keep playing lights out.
Okay, Thursday night, it is your final game of the regular season. I'm guessing that, even though it's at Kinnett Stadium, this is a home game for Jordan, right, Coach?
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay, so your team has already had their senior night. They've already had, but let me just ask you this, Coach. What do you want to say to the Shaw fans to try to come out for this road game? But it's on your home stadium, and we want to get the Shaw fans to pack that visitor side of Kinnett Stadium. But well, what's the message you want to send to the Shaw fans that support this team all season, gearing for the playoffs?
This is the season finale. This possibly may be the last time that we'll be able to play at home this year, based on playoffs and seedings and everything of that nature. So we want it to be something special for our guys, especially our seniors. This possibly could be their last game at Kinnett Stadium, and like I said, this is a great opportunity for us to finish our season on a right foot, the right note, and hopefully it'll catapult us into a decent playoff run as well.
Oh, there's no question about that. Shaw has just played great all season. Another game that I had the privilege of calling on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, it was that game where you ended up winning against Columbus. That was a Saturday afternoon game. I thought Sincere Ford was phenomenal. He was in on just about every tackle, making key plays on special teams. You ended up defeating Columbus 35-7 that afternoon. And my takeaway on this game was that your defense played lights out. And that's just an example of how special this defense can play. But particularly a player like Sincere Ford, what makes him special, being that leader on the defense, and he's just got tremendous speed going from sideline to sideline, pretty much in on every tackle, and he's making plays on special teams.
Yeah, he's a guy, man. We wish we had him for longer. This is actually his first year playing football since middle school.
Wow.
So yeah, so we got him. If you don't know about Sincere Ford, he's an incredible athlete. He's been playing baseball throughout his high school career. He'll continue to play baseball as well. But we finally convinced him to come on out for a year, for his senior year. So he's definitely a guy that we wish we had longer. This is, like I said, his first year playing football since middle school. I think 6th or 7th grade. And what the special thing about him is, of course, he's athletic. Yes, he's electric. He's dynamic, but he's coachable. He's a guy that understands that, hey, I don't have all the answers, and he leans on his coaches and about how to play certain things. And like I said, he's a natural gunslinger now. He's gonna take a couple of chances here and there, and we learn. We live with those chances that he takes. As long as they're educated guesses, and he has a reason why he did what he did, we're happy with him. So he's a great young man, comes from a great family, and I'm excited as well as I'm saddened about the opportunity that, hey, we got him for 1 year, but we don't have him for 1 year. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely love Sincere Ford, and depending on him to continue to play dominant for us to do what we need to do on the defense side of the ball.
Yeah, you have other baseball players, Kingsley Long and Kingston Long as well.
Right.
All right, my final question to you, Coach, is the future of Shaw football. I mean, Aaron Grant's only a junior. He's going to be back next year. You got Giovanni Rutherford is only a freshman. You are losing some key players on that defense, but Jamar Williams is coming back. What is the future of Shaw football like for years to come?
Well, one thing about it, we're still going to attack the process. So the future for us looks like getting a win on Thursday, and then working our way towards a playoff a run. And then, of course, like I said, the young talent, the young guys will be back for sure. We got a lot of upcoming talent, but like I said, talent is just one element that comprises of in regards to making a dominant team. So it's about how they attack the offseason. They did a great job this year. Our freshman class and JV, like I said, they went undefeated over their schedule, went 7-0. So we're looking forward to that translating to the varsity level. But like I said, it's a long road before we get to talking about what they'll do on the varsity level. But we're anxious. We're excited about those guys. They're excited about the opportunity to represent Shaw High School. And I'm looking for a lot of hard work, a lot of process, attacking the process going on. So the future, I think, is bright as long as we keep the main thing, which is developing these guys on and off the field. Make sure they're taking care of business in the classroom. We're mentoring these guys and making them make better and greater decisions on a day-to-day basis. And I think everything else will take care of itself.
Well, good luck, Coach, on Thursday against Jordan, and looking to see you guys in the playoffs.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Shaw head football coach Johnnie Garner. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have another Muskogee County head coach right here on the Muskogee County Coaches Show.
Football is back, and the only thing that makes it better is some delicious food from Zaxby's. They're a proud sponsor of Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. And I can tell you that everyone on this team loves their chicken. Get all the favorites, such as their signature chicken sandwich, or try the new chicken finger tacos with your favorite drink. From amazing salads, wings, chicken fingers, and some of the best drinks around, there isn't a better way to enjoy our broadcast without getting some fantastic meals from Zaxby's. Check out the two here in Phoenix City, one off Crawford Road and the other on US 80. Thank you again to Zaxby's for sponsoring Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. And make sure you call them for all your catering and tailgating needs this football season.
Welcome back to the Muskogee County Coaches Show. And on the show, once again, is the Hardaway head football coach, Coach Ryan McKenzie. Coach, how are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. Thanks for having us on tonight.
All right, 4-5 on the season, but you got a big game this Thursday night. Halloween night, Otis Spencer Stadium, taking on the Spencer Green Wave. Coach, right now, if you look at the rankings, you're considered a bubble team, right on the cusp of the playoffs. How important or how big would it be to go from 0-10 last year to making the playoffs this year? And by the way, just an improvement of by 4 wins, and that you have an opportunity, if you beat Spencer on Thursday, to make the playoffs.
Yes, sir. For us, it's phenomenal. I mean, we put in the work, and we could have easily been a 6-win team. This year, I think we let a couple slip away early when we was trying to find our identity and find what we were wanting to be. But, we have to have those growing pains, and we have to learn how to lose before we can win and learn how to close out games. And we're actually a little higher than 33rd. I mean, you have to take out the private schools as to why they're having the factor system. So once you take out the private schools, I mean, it's 5 or 6 of those, and I think we're sitting at like 27, 28 right now.
Absolutely. So we could have a possibility of 5 teams in this region make the playoffs. I think that if you beat Spencer, I mean, it really increases your chances. Spencer's a tough team. They've got a high-powered offense, but you got a high-powered quarterback there on your offense. We were talking before this show started. Bobby Gary Jr., who's only a sophomore, has got 16 touchdowns on the season. He's already passed for 1,100 yards. I mean, I'm just very impressed with the growth and the maturity going from his freshman year to his sophomore year, and the sky's a limit for Bobby Gary Jr.
Absolutely. We're proud and blessed to have Bobby. He comes in every day and he gives us everything he's got, and just to see his maturation is a beautiful process. And, just to show that if you put in the work and you're willing to learn and go through the growing pains, that, great things that happen. Like, we projected this. I met with him in the offseason last year, and I told him, I said, hey, man, the sophomore year, we're projecting you to have about 1,200 to 1,500 yards. And he's right on course. And he teased me all the time. He has 4 picks on the year, but 2 of them belong to me because I told him to throw a ball he shouldn't throwing it. So he gives me a hard time about that. But he's been phenomenal.
Just looking at the schedule, like you mentioned, a lot of close wins to start the season. Lost 24-14 against Jackson, a 1-point loss to Washington. We had that game on Georgia-Alabama Sports Live. That could have easily been a win. A big win on the road against Greenville. I thought that Shaw game, it was 21-18. Shaw did get a touchdown to go up by 10, but that could have gone either way. Huge win over Kendrick. Carver is one of the best teams in 2A. But we also had the Midtown Showdown, a very impressive 47-6 win over Columbus, beating Jordan 55-12. I mean, you won 2 straight and getting ready and Sumter County's another tough team in 2A. But what has been your impression so far on this season? I know there's some things you got to clean up, but in the wins and even in some of the losses, the team has been impressive. And they definitely look like they're ready to make the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, we got a blue-collar team, man, and we just try to ask the guys to just come and just deposit, great work every day. Today we kind of cut back on a little individual, and we did a fat man field a punt, and the kids had a great time with that, just to try to lighten the room and trying to focus on us and also trying to focus on Spencer at the same time. But understanding, like, we don't see a lot of people we played because of our tough schedule last year, and we had a lot of kids that had to be thrown in the fire. And with doing that, I mean, when we face opponents this year, I think we're a little bit more prepared. And we played Sumter last week, and it was a hostile environment for those kids, and trying to, get them up to play and understanding that those guys are going to be fired up because of their performance from Carver. And I think we played them tough and we battled, but we just made some critical turnovers and some critical errors, and that kind of cost us and hurt us, and it kind of snowballed. But, we need those things to learn from so that we can be better in the future.
Coach, I do remember that tough schedule from last year. You played Carver, Troup County, Harris County, Noonan, Peach County, and then not to mention Westover, Bainbridge, Cairo, Shaw. I mean, it was tough. But I think that your team has gotten better. Your team has learned from this, and to improve to 4 wins this season is very impressive, Coach. I do want to talk about your running back, Mikkel Benton, who has got 857 yards rushing. He's got 8 touchdowns. I mean, he's having a phenomenal year. It really takes the pressure off Bobby Gary to have a running back, a bell cow running back that can get those tough yardages. What does Mikkel Benton meant to this offense?
I mean, he's everything. I mean, if you ask Bobby Gary, who's the best player, which I did, like in game 3, I said, who's the best player on offense? He's going to say Mikkel Benton. He's not going to say it himself because he understands the work that Mikkel puts in. He's such a humble kid. This is his second full year playing football, his second full year playing varsity running back. So he's still learning, but in the midst of him learning, he comes to work every day and he works extremely hard at his craft, man. And I couldn't be proud of any other kid on the team right now for the things that they do. Like, he deposited everything, and he's gonna give us everything that he got. And we love him to pieces, man. And he's chasing 1,000 yards, and we want to hopefully we can get him there before the year's over.
Coach, my final question to you is: this is a message to the Hardaway fans. I know that Thursday night it's Halloween. I know a lot of kids are going to be trick-or-treating, but this is also an opportunity to see a possible game that could elevate you to the playoffs. And it's a rivalry with Spencer. And by the way, half of our staff from Office Hours, Real Life of an Athletics Director, you can catch on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, is really affiliated with this. Your athletic director, Coach Kendall Mills, and the athletic director and Spencer football coach, Coach Joe Kegler. So we had a little fun with that with the Midtown Showdown. Also, last week I called Spencer Columbus, had Coach Danielle McCoy up in the booth with me. I always like to promote Office Hours because I think what Coach Kendall Mills and the other ADs have done is just fantastic. Awesome. But what does that rivalry with Spencer mean to Hardaway? Because it's great that this rivalry is back, especially now that they're in the region. And what's your message to the Hardaway faithful to try to make it out to Otis Spencer this Thursday?
First of all, I think Coach Keg is a pillar in the community, man. He's been somebody that I lean on a lot, and we talked a lot throughout the year. And he's one of those people that, throughout the season, he's been one of the people that's congratulated me on the success that we've had. Even in the midst of him, being a head coach and doing this thing over there too, and we're proud of him as well. I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy the fact of the kids seeing familiar faces and they play hard. We mentioned Shaw and how tough we played them and how tough Shaw played Sumter, and my message to my kids has been, we got to play everybody with the same attitude of, people we know. And I just think that it's easier for us to get them up for those games. And our fan base has been phenomenal this year. I mean, they came out, they traveled with us a little bit this year, and every time we've home, we had great crowds. And we know it's trick or treat, but hopefully we can be the treat and we can come out and do some things to just make sure that we make them proud as we've been doing all year. And we're just trying to build this thing brick by brick, and we're not taking any shortcuts. We're not omitting anybody, and we're facing our process and trusting our standards. So we're excited, and we just hope everybody comes out and be safe and just enjoy the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait, Coach. Good luck against Spencer. We hope to have it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. This is a huge regular season finale, and I think that Hardaway is going to be in a good position with a win. I think that if they lose, they might need some help, but I think that we could possibly have 5 teams in the region make the playoffs, and that would be great for the Hardaway Hawks if you guys are able to make the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a little faith, and we've been watching the rankings here and there, and seeing who's ahead of us and who's below us. So hopefully, if we come out and like I told the kids today, if we just take care of business, then we don't need any help. But in the event that the ball goes the other way, then we'll be fine, and we'll just wherever the chips fall, where they may, we'll be ready to roll the ball out and play and have an opportunity at playing one more week.
Absolutely, looking forward to it, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
That is the Hardaway head football coach, Coach Ryan McKenzie. We're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have another Muskogee County coach.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
And welcome back to the Muskogee County Coaches Show. As on the show, I've got Coach Chris Grier from the Columbus Flag Football Team. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. And you are known as one of the founding fathers of flag football, just getting this program started back in 2019. Just talk a little bit about your background. How long you've been coaching, and what's your playing background, your coaching background, and what got you interested in starting up girls flag football at Columbus?
Gotcha. So when I was in college at Columbus State University, I was on a team that competed in the state tournament and the national tournament for 4 years. We actually won the state tournament in 2015. We had 8 guys on our team, so we played both ways. So I learned to love the game of flag from Columbus State University under the direction of Mike Spate, who is an incredible person, has taught me a lot about coaching, a lot about playing flag, and just an overall mentor. He's just a great guy. And I've been coaching since 2015. I used to coach the girls lacrosse team, the wrestling team. I was the wide receiver coach for 6 years at Columbus for the football boys tackle team. And then in 2019, when they started that they were going to introduce the flag football, the Atlanta Falcons wanted to start the initiative in 2019. We kind of spearheaded that. And as soon as I heard that was going to happen, I just was excited to be a part of it. Reached out to the AD. And, at the time it was so new, and a lot of people figured that it was just one other thing that they got to do, one other thing that they got to kind of handle. But I was just excited about the opportunity and kind of jumped at it, and was just excited to be able to be that person that could just start it and not have anybody have to worry about it. I was just okay with taking the reins because I had a lot of experience, and I also love the game, and I still play the game to this day. I play with my team, we compete, and we travel around and play some. So it's still very much a part of my life.
Well, there's no question about it that girls flag football is wildly popular in our area, and it's one of the fastest growing sports. And we've got some amazing teams. Central, #1 in the nation. I mean, Pacelli, back-to-back GIAA champions. And then your team has had success making it to the state championship last year. But just talk about that growth and getting players on board, because, you do have players that play multiple sports. What are some of the processes to convincing girls to come out for flag football? Because I know that you got softball in the fall in the GHSA, you've got volleyball, you got basketball that's about a week away. I mean, so just talk about that process recruiting players to play flag football.
For sure. And that's kind of been one of the biggest things to overcome. One of the obstacles currently is that flag football is so exciting that it's not really, it's just now starting to get introduced into the middle long time. And when they see how fun and exciting flag football is, they try to find a way to fit it into their schedule. But it kind of makes it a little difficult for us because we start our season like September 11th was when our season kicked off this year, and it's in the middle, kind of the beginning of the fall season. So if you have great coaches around that will share those athletes and that you can connect and work around their schedule so they can be here and they can be there. Sometimes that can be a struggle. Sometimes it can be convenient. You just got to work with everybody, and you ultimately just want to do what's best for the athlete. if they want to play both, you're going to do your best to try and make sure that they can be a part of both. Obviously, we want them all the time, and we want them to always do the right thing and to pick and choose what they want to do. And if they want to do both, it can be difficult. So recently, the way it works for us is if they start a fall sport, they got to finish that fall sport before they come to the next fall sport. So that's the thing that kind of makes it difficult for us. So what we've done is we have those girls, but we also have a core group of girls that are strictly flag driven. And we try to find athletes that aren't necessarily as involved in softball and those other fall sports so that we can develop them on our own into flag players, and that they can be flag in the fall. Like, that's what they choose to do, and not that they have to choose between the sports. But ultimately, we want to try and just develop these specific players, that may not do softball or any of those kinds of things, so that we can have them full time and then create them into the people that we need them to be.
Yeah, and we were very privileged to be a part of the inaugural Flag Football Media Day that happened last week, Coach. And I was just in fact fascinated by just this growth of the sport, and got to know you and some of your players. And you've got a very unique situation where you've got just one of the most dynamic quarterback receiver combinations in the entire
Yes.
state. I'm talking about quarterback Serenity Hickman and wide receiver Alexandria Lofton, who's considered one of the best wide receivers in the state of Georgia. Just talk about that relationship that Serenity and Alexandria has during practice, and it translates into the game film.
For sure. And those two are very special players, and I think anyone would be lucky to have them. And I also think that they put in the time that they want. They love the game so much that they take and apply what they've learned at practice and then do it outside of practice. They watch film, they communicate well together, they're locked in, they're not messing around at practice, they're giving leadership to the other younger girls. They lead by example, and they very much are servant leaders, and they do a great job working together, and they just click, and everybody just kind of understands what their role is on the team. And Serenity does a great job at quarterback, kind of putting people in positions, and she does a great job on the field. If she sees something, she communicates it to me. If Allie sees something, they communicate it to each other, and I trust them enough to be able to make that decision on the field because they understand the game just as well as anybody else on the team. So, but the reason why they are so good is because they work hard at it all year round. So they play in the fall, they play in the summertime, they play in the off season. When they're not doing anything, they'll still be practicing. So they are solely committed to flag, and this is their passion, and they love it. And that's why they're so good at it, because they always are working at it. Whereas other people may put it on the back burner. This is their love, this is their goal, and this is what they want to do. And it's very contagious, their energy and the vibe that they bring off at practice. So everybody just loves to pick up and keep going with them. So, and I think that's why they're so successful, is because they just apply themselves and they take what they've learned, and they're coachable as well.
Coach, you're currently 9-4 on the season. You're currently in a very unique area. It's D1 Area 1. It's the traditional 8 Muskogee County schools that we saw on media days, and including LaGrange, Troup County, Callaway, and Harris County. Right now, Harris County 2-0 in the region. Jordan is 2-0. Spencer's 2-0. I'm telling you, Coach, I mean, you're getting ready to play Jordan in a tri-match. It's actually going on right now as the show is being aired up at Callaway Stadium. But looking at the competition in this area, what is the ultimate goal? Is to try to win this area, obviously, but to go deep in the playoffs. But when you have like a team like Harris County that's had success, what are you looking forward to just matching up with these teams in the area?
Well, all of the teams in the Columbus area have improved tremendously, and they have all great athletes all around the county. And when you add in LaGrange and Callaway and the northern schools like Harris County and stuff like that, it does make it a pretty difficult area. But that's what you want. You want a competitive area. You want everybody to be able to compete. You want everybody to come out on top, because at the end of the day, when you go to the state tournament, you're representing your county, you're representing your city. And so we want to be known in Columbus for flag football, and I think we've established ourselves amongst ourselves in these schools. And the competition is awesome. It's great to be able to. You never know what you're going to get when you play your game. And so the region games are super important. And like you said, this year, we used to be divided up into 2 areas, but now we've all kind of combined into one. And I know we're at Division 1, which is single A through 3A. But geographically, we have some other teams in there that are a little bit bigger than us that we have to compete with, and that's just the way it works. So we're looking forward to the competition, and it's nice to be able to have that close in proximity as well to help you prepare for when you go deep into the playoffs.
Well, Coach, you know Georgia Alabama Sports Live is just honored to live stream your games. We've already live streamed 2 of your games. I mean, they were just fantastic wins over Carver and Shaw. I was just blown away by how Serenity Hickman throws a deep ball, and Alexandria Lofton, it's just pitch and catch out there. There's one game on the schedule that we just need to make note of. Is November the 6th. You're playing the 2-time defending GIAA champions, the St. Anne Pacelli Lady Vikings. I think this is the matchup everybody in Columbus wants to see because I've seen Pacelli when they took on Harris County. They've got some ballers on their team. Grace Smith, Michaela Hosley. That's going to be an awesome game. That's a tri-match, actually. That's going to be at Columbus, or is that Connect Stadium? It is at Brookstone. Okay.
At Brookstone. Yep. So we'll play Brookstone and Pacelli that day, and we are looking forward to that. Pacelli does have a great team, and they are in a different division, so it's nice to be able to have people, again, close to your area or close to where you're at that are play really good flags so you can see how you match up and where you compete at and how you can get better. And since they've won state the past couple years, we just want to play them and see how we can match up and be able to progress in our season as well.
Well, Coach, we appreciate everything you've done for Columbus flag football with the success of the volleyball team making it to the Final Four, the softball team making it all the way to the Super Regionals. My last question to you, Coach, is what is that message that you want to send to the Columbus fans that have not catch the flag football team in action? How can they get tickets? How can they come out and see the matches? And what are some ways that they could support Columbus flag football?
Yeah, just coming out to the games, the flag football environment is super exciting, and every play is like a highlight. And so every game you're going to go to, it's going to be exciting no matter where you go. And we play our games all over the place. We play at Connect and Otis Spencer. A lot of our games are now at home. We won't be traveling as much anymore. So thankfully we'll be local in the area. And so anybody that could come out, we got our schedule on the website, and if they could just come and support us, that would be great. And then even if they could just come and support the game in general, any game in Muskogee County is going to be fun, exhilarating, exciting. And it's just a good, fun time. And it's a quick game. You're not sitting in the stands for 3.5 hours. You're in there for 45 minutes to 50 minutes. It's a quick game, but it's super action packed, and it's just fun to be a part of.
Well, Coach, I'm looking forward to seeing how the season plays out. Good luck the rest of the way, and looking forward to live streaming several games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live as well.
Absolutely, and thank you guys for all that you do. We appreciate it.
And we appreciate you, Coach. That is the Columbus Blue Devils flag football coach, Coach Chris Grier. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Muskogee County Coaches Show. We got a 2-week break. Next week, it's office hours, real life of an AD, and then we'll be back at it in 2 weeks for another episode of Outstanding Muskogee County Coaches. Have a great rest of your night.